How many of you believe that life is a journey? Are you the same person you were even a year ago? No, we're evolving, we're changing, we have different life's experiences. And for that reason, it is vital that we know two essential things. We need to know, one, that we are in the driver's seat. We need to know our purpose. And two, we need to be able to keep the balance in our lives. How do we get to that understanding? Well, let me tell you a little bit about me and how I got to that understanding. I worked for about 24 years in the field of social service. I've held positions with city government, state government, quasi-federal, and a couple of not-for-profits along the way. My very first job out of college was as an employment counselor for the state of Missouri. I'd grown up in Florida, moved to Missouri. After I'd been doing that for about a year and a half, I recognized that I needed to invest more in me if I was going to go down the path I'd chosen for my life's journey. So I went back to school, got a second piece of paper, a master's degree in guidance and counseling. Now, throughout all of those positions, I got to interact with people, I did training, and I really enjoyed that part. Well, it was in 1999 that I stopped and actually wrote a purpose statement. And in that, I began to answer questions like, what do I want to do in my life? What is most important to me? What are my contributions? What's unique about me? How do I want the world to be different? Well, in the final analysis, I wrote a purpose statement for myself. And a noted psychologist, Viktor Frankl, said something. He said, we do not so much create our mission or purpose in life as detect it. When you're doing something you have a passion for, you're probably living out a part of your purpose. I wrote that purpose statement, and what became a reality for me was something that I read by Dr. Sonia Friedman. She said, lasting fulfillment is an inside job, and you're the most trustworthy guide for you. Understanding your purpose does put you in the driver's seat, and then we can live our lives. Yes, things will happen, but we know this is where I'm going, this is who I am in the process. The other essential thing we need to know is to keep the balance in our lives. How do we keep the balance in our lives? Make sure that we are involved, engaged, and conscious of all the things about our lives, not just the work element. I began to have that understanding at a much deeper level after I read a passage from Stephen Covey's book, 7 Habits for Highly Effective People. I was actually flying to Detroit, and I was reading this scenario he created. He says, you're in a room, people are talking about you, family, friends, peers. What are they saying? You realize it's your funeral. Boy, did that ever jerk my coattail. I'd always said, oh, family's so important, but what was I doing with my time? I would stay late so often that people would say if I went home at 5, what's wrong with her? She's going home at 5 o'clock. I would stay so late that I'm a little embarrassed to say how late I would stay. How much can I get done on Saturday? Maybe a little bit more done on Sunday. Well, that was a wake-up call. In discovering your purpose, it says this: don't ever get so busy making a living that you forget to make a life. And that can easily happen. So I know that we have to do things that will allow us to keep the balance in our lives. How do you keep the balance in your life? Well, let me tell you how I do it. Covey talks a lot about the roles that we play in life, the roles that we play. Now, I have 5 or 6 roles that I play. Those don't change very often. But every Sunday night I sit down and write, what are my goals for this role in my life? I have those 5 or 6 roles. Church member, family member and friend, trainer, several roles. But under family member, I will write visit dad 5 times and actually put a check mark when I visit my dad. Sounds funny to other people, but I know how I am. I'll say, oh, I'll get to it, then it doesn't happen. It is critical that you know your purpose, that you keep the balance in your life. When we do those things, we will live our lives in a purposeful way. We will have meaning, and we will enjoy life at a level that we didn't think possible before. So today we're going to look at techniques and tools and things that you can do that will help you essentially know what is my purpose and how can I keep the balance in my life.